Today we're going to install the $55 Android head unit in a 2000 Ford Excursion. Here's the backup camera, the Android unit. Comes with all these parts here, GPS antenna, mounting brackets, etc. The things you will need for this though are a dash kit, because this head unit, although it comes with these brackets, it doesn't have a way to clip into the Ford dash. So you'll need the dash install kit. You need the wiring harness adapter to make this easy, and because the Excursion's so long, you'll need some wire. I just got some 16 gauge so that we can run the backup camera. And you don't really need the dash removal kit or the stereo removal kit, but it's like $5, so I just got it because it's going to make it easier rather than trying to jam screwdrivers or dental picks inside of a tiny little hole. So those are the tools you'll need. That's what we're doing today. Let's jump into it. So, put these in the little holes. Slide them in. Really? And there's two. Come on. Damn! Finally. Alright, just pull that out. Plug your antenna. Wiring harness. There's little tabs back here. Get them. There we go. Little tabs on the back of these wiring harnesses for the Ford factory wiring harness. Make sure you pop those. Alright, this is the, what is this, a Metra wiring harness adapter for Fords. Let's see if it works. We just got the one. Makes me wonder. I feel like that's important. We'll see if we need it or not, I guess. Now, what we're gonna do here, everybody's gonna tell you, all the YouTubes for dash installs are like, oh, just use some butt connectors. I guess butt connectors work fine. I can't stand that. So we're gonna do a proper install, and we're gonna solder and heat shrink our connections like real men. So let's go do that, and I'll be right back. Okay, and I'm back. Now, you don't have to solder your connections, but if you guys care about the quality of your install, even though nobody sees it, you know, it's nice to know that these are not coming apart. So I could go on a huge soapbox about how much I hate the butt connectors or those little pinchy things that you can just crimp two wires together, and they have the slidey bit that pierces the shielding of the wire. I can't stand those. Just do the job right. For me in particular, this truck's got a 10-inch lift and mud terrain, so it bounces around a ton, and I can't run the risk of little butt connectors constantly jiggling and maybe falling apart, and then I have no idea what's wrong. So solder your connections. Just do it right, do it once. Okay, so this was the Metra adapter that comes with Ford. This is what plugs in the back of the stereo, the Android stereo. Now with all great Chinese products, if they come with a manual, it's terrible. Mine did not come with a manual at all. So the speaker pairs, those are self-explanatory. Purple, purple, gray, gray, gray. The 12 volt constant, remote, those seem pretty self-explanatory. The illumination also seems self-explanatory. Now the two things, ground, self-explanatory. The Metra adapter has even though it has a ground for an amp, it doesn't have the amp wire in it. My truck doesn't have an amp, I don't need it, not used. So I put some heat shrink on it, capped it off. I don't have a power antenna, so capped that off. The only question that I had, and Metra doesn't even have a orange and black wire on the box to say what it does, and there's no manual for the Chinese. So whatever key 2 meant and this orange and black wire seems logical, they'll go together. I don't really know. We're gonna plug it in and we're gonna try. So let's do that. Let's just give it a test run real quick and see how it goes. Oh, there's that. Alrighty. We've got, let's unwrap this thing. We're just gonna see if this thing powers on. That's all. That seems good. I'm plugging in the antenna. Probably is not going to be an issue, but there's a lot of transmitters and receivers that if they don't have an antenna plugged into them, you'll burn out the transmitter. So I'm just going to plug these antennas in real quick just for testing, just because I don't want to run the risk of burning out any transmitters or receivers. So probably would be alright, but again, this is a $55 Android stereo, and I'm not going to count on it to have any protections built in. Let's see. Well, it's booting. The question is, I don't know what this goes to. It came out of the stereo. We might not need to use it, I'm not really sure. I could do some research, but I just don't really care if everything works okay.
Hey, I'm Riley Green. Here's my latest single, Grandpa's Never Died.
On Indy's #1 for New Country, 97.1 Hank FM.
Wish girls you love never gave back diamond
Seems like it's alright.
Wish every porch had a swing. Wish kids still learn to say certain man.
I'll go through this later and we'll do a run through on this. I just want to see if all my speakers are working right.
I wish everybody knew all the words to Mama tried. I wish Monday mornings felt just like Friday nights. And I wish
Seems like it works good. Alright. That works good. Okay. Success. Now let's unplug all this stuff and mount her up. Here's the, this is the Metra, I don't know if you can see that. The Metra dash kit. Okay, these plates, here's the Android unit. These plates are labeled right. Just hand tighten these screws. This doesn't seem like the strongest metal, and I would really, I mean, if you strip it out, you're screwed. So just hand tighten those. Here's the other plate. Oh, that's good for it. There we go. There's a whole lot of holes in these plates, but you want these 2 holes right here. They line up nice and perfect. You can see that, there we go. They line up right in there, yep. Okay, so this damn thing, it doesn't work. The metric kit, it's totally my fault, but see, you can see that it says this is what you see on the shelf, right? Right there, Ford Lincoln Mercury. Totally didn't see up here 2004 and up, so I have to order another dash kit. In the meantime, we're gonna hook this up. It stays in the dash well enough, and I'm not gonna put in the older stereo right now. Just not happening. These are pretty self-explanatory. The one thing it's not, these clips, let's see. Alright, I don't know if we can see it down here. There we go. Those clips, the top of it, you would think would go down in the notch, but it actually doesn't. It goes up. Kind of counterintuitive. Now, I'm really hoping this is enough to run to the back of the Excursion. So, I got all the little connections hooked up in the back here. That's going to be enough for this right now up here in the dash. The rest of it is basically just running the reverse camera, and then I'm going to have to order a dash bezel kit, and I'll just route all the wires. But I'll do a review of this unit here when we're done with the install. But yeah, let's go ahead and tap into a reverse light and run the rest of these wires. Okay, these are T15. There's 4 of them, 1, 2, 3, 4. Remove those. I'm gonna do my splice up in here so that it's somewhat weather protected. But I need to figure out which one of these is positive and which one's negative. So to do that, we're just going to turn the truck on, not start it, put it in reverse so that we can see the reverse light. And we'll take our multimeter and turn it to DC. It's super cold out here. And let's test. Let's see if I can put this up here so you guys can see what I'm looking at too. Negative 9 volts, which means if we switch these, positive 9.8. Okay, so that means this bottom one here with the white pinkish stripe is the positive, and this is the negative. So I'm just gonna cut it right here, peel back some of this wrapping, we'll splice in and solder and shrink wrap in our wires that we need for the reverse camera. But first we're turning it off. I guess disclaimer, probably should disconnect your battery. I'm not gonna do it because I'm not I'm gonna cut them one at a time rather than just a full snip across both wires, so I'm not gonna be shorting anything. If you do that, just be careful or disconnect your battery if you don't want to mess anything up. Okay, now I ran the little adapter that plugs into the camera up through there, along with an additional wire. Now, I don't want to confuse anybody. This is going to be a positive wire even though it's black. It's just what I had, so it's what we're going to deal with. Remember, the pink stripe was positive. Let's go ahead and get these guys all twisted up, looking nice. Let's find some heat shrink. All right, this should do. Oh yeah. This should make things easier. And that should do it. Okay. There's that. Okay, now the fun part, to route it from all there. You can see the wires dangling all the way down and up. That's the worst part. Luckily, truck is lifted a whole lot and I can sit up underneath. Things they don't tell you about owning a lifted truck. So I'm gonna run these wires. We're gonna pop out just right up underneath the dash, underneath that floorboard. There's some grommets that you can access pretty easily, and then we'll run it up to the dash and finish up this install. Alright, I ran the wire from the reverse light and the RCA connection up through the dash. Now all that's left is to solder this stuff up. Let's throw a little heat shrink on there. And if you want awesome, strong connections, you can tin your wires and put them and solder them together like a normal. If you want super strong connections, you can braid your wires together first and then solder them, which is what we're gonna do here. Now, pro tip: I always recommend disconnecting your battery, because there is a chance that this cannot be grounded, it can't be insulated. Your soldering iron, it will send electricity places it shouldn't be. I know, because I've done it. But I think we're going to be alright here. We're just going to solder this. I'm not going to do a full instructional on how to solder. There's a lot of YouTube guides about it, but you don't want cold solder joints. Make sure you get good penetration all the way through. Okay, got it all in and buttoned up. This is the $55 eBay Android radio. I'm gonna go through it. None of this stuff matters here. Here's the reverse camera. It's alright. It's gonna do the job. I didn't know what all these controls are. We'll deal with that later. The reason none of this stuff matters is because I'm sure this stock system's decent, but I hate them, and I always put a custom launcher on every Android phone, stereo, tablet, whatever I have. So I'm gonna go through this. I'm gonna do a custom launcher. just so you can see how the unit ships. I went ahead and connected it to Wi-Fi. Here's some settings with the pull down menu. Seems, I mean, really impressive for $55. There's the settings that come with the unit, so sound, system, factory car, Android, GPS. I just left the GPS antenna tucked back in the dash. I'm not going to mount it anywhere. If I need super accurate GPS, I mean, I can use my phone, but I live in a very rural area in a valley, and I mean, I'm getting what, 7, 8 satellites, so it's fine. It will do the job. The lights for the stereo, if you can see, those come on with the lights. I bought that dash bezel kit, and I got the wrong one, but this thing's pretty wide, and honestly, it just doesn't bother me too much, this gap here. I may in the future get the bezel kit. I don't even think it's gonna fit though, to be honest with you. So for right now, I'm just gonna leave it how it is. The unit is not drilled in anyway, so it may fall out, but I mean, it is tight in there, so I think it's gonna be fine. I don't see a good way to secure it, and I think it's gonna be fine sitting there. You know, after all the talk I did of not using butt connectors and soldering because you want a quality install, and then I chintz out here with not getting a bezel kit. I do think it's funny, but I don't think it's needed. Yeah, there's the security issue. I guess someone could steal it, but joke's on them because it's a $50 stereo. So we'll see in the future if I get rattling issues or it doesn't seem to be secure enough, then yeah, I'll buy a bezel kit, but I think it's too wide for that to work. So it may be something I have to 3D print, who knows. So until then, I'm gonna mess around with this. You saw the settings. It's an Android tablet. It does good. It's got Google Maps and everything. All of that's good. And I'm gonna throw a custom launcher on there, throw the apps that I want. I got the Bluetooth OBD2 adapter plugged up underneath the dash, and so you gotta have your Torque Pro, the app on there, so you can see all your vehicle information that you need. So I'm gonna set all that up, and that's the install. If you guys got any questions, leave a comment, and I hope this helps somebody. It wasn't super informative because it's just a regular stereo install, but if you have any hesitation about buying this cheap Android doubled in stereo, don't, because I mean, it's $50 and the sound is awesome. I'm not going to do a sound test for you because A, I don't want to get hit with copyright because YouTube's weird about that, and B, I mean, it sounds great. So I'm not an audiophile. I don't have Bose 7 point whatever super duper sound. It's an Excursion. It's a big Ford truck, and I don't have a bunch of speakers or anything like that. The sound sounds great with the factory system. It works factory. Everything looks good. So if you want this stereo, don't hesitate to get it. I'll see if I can't find the model and stuff. It's China, so it's from Shenzhen. It's generic, whatever. If I can find it, I'm going to put it in the info below. And yeah, I hope that helps everybody. Thanks.